Welcome, 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 welcome. So, I came across um, a creator. Hi, Steffers. Welcome. Hi, Gray Pill. I'm doing good. Steffers, you're welcome to come up if you like. I don't know if you want to on this one. So, any of those that know me, I'm pretty good about, being an advocate for victims and whatnot. And there was or still is a case, and that case has to deal with Gannon. And um, I was, flipping through the YouTube streets, and some photos were released. And there's my question for the day is, where do you draw that line in the sand of going over? Where does it stop? Where does that line stop in the sand? So I'm cleaning up around the house. Okay, Steffers. Um, Escape Goat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's pretty early for me, but hey, if you guys like it, yeah. Where is her moral value? Where does it stop? Where does that line stop in the sand that goes too far? As a mother, Steffers could probably agree. She's a mother. Scapegoat. I'm not quite sure about you. I don't know if you have kids or not. But as a mother, there's just things that I wouldn't want put on the web. And I can probably vouch for every single mother out there. And father for that matter. And anyways, at any rate, so I came across a creator. His name is Glare, and I asked if I could use his stream, and he said, most definitely, tear it up. I agree. Holy moly, I would be tore up. Scapegoat says, I have a son all grown up. Scapegoat, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story of Gannon, but Brian Enton also did a clip on this. Her son is at his most vulnerable state. Yeah, he's very valuable to her heart. Most definitely. When I came across this information, I was beside myself because there was a lot of things about Zav Girl that I enjoyed some of her streams. She kind of like drags on a little bit, but for the most part, they've always been pretty informational. It was a very heartbreaking case. Yes, this is where she took that baby after she did what she did and then took him, I believe it was all the way to Florida. Insanity. So if you would like to watch this clip with me, you're welcome. But I have my reserved thoughts on this stunt that was just pulled. As a mother, I wouldn't want my children's, photos put out on the web that aren't for public use, that had to be requested by law enforcement. And what do you think? That's exactly what I'm going to talk about. Scapegoat. Hi, bad behavior. I am too, Steffers. I am beside myself. I didn't think she would do something like that. She's always been pretty upfront, very like forthcoming, forth in your, like not trying to, be shady on the side. I'm trying to watch what I say because I'm not big about talking about creators, but this one is, I really liked her streams, and I am shocked beyond belief. There's a few people that I enjoy watching. Dolly Vision, Bullhorn Betty. There's quite a few people that don't like her, but I like her. I like her in your face. This is how it is. And she goes to, the scene and does what she thinks is in the best interest. Some people, may disagree, but bad behavior. I love that picture, bad behavior. That is such a good picture. Scapegoat. That's exactly what we're gonna go over. That's horrific, in my opinion, no doubt. The whole incident was horrific to begin with, more or less. The magnitude that this woman, stepmom, did, the magnitude of her actions was already horrendous. And then for it to be displayed behind a paywall is just outlandish. It shouldn't even be out there. This is a baby. This is a minor. This is someone's baby. I am so upset. Like I can't even get my thoughts right now. Exactly. Same. And DLC, exactly. And the people that paid for it. Exactly. Hi, Dale. It's so good to see you, Dale. Scapegoat says it should be against the law for people to do that on social media. And I've been advocating this for quite a while, that there's just some information that should not be exposed, and there is information that should be exposed. There's some things with other creators that I agree with, is bringing that knowledge forefront. So, victims, so there's, you have the capability of making that conscious decision not to be a victim by not being involved or not getting involved when it comes to this social media platform. And I look at this as, I think I said it last night, I'm starting to think that YouTube has become more of like a giant Facebook, more in your face kind of Facebook platform than an informational platform. I've always used it as an informational or some type of learning platform, and it's become a locker room Facebook platform, in my opinion. Hi, Lovey. Right, Scapegoat? I have to get ready for medical appointments today, but I will be listening till I have to go out the door. Glad you are having this discussion. Thank you very much, Scapegoat. And I normally don't come on this early, but I may start. I really may start, especially when I have something that is like really chomping, like it's chomping at the bit. It's like eating me up. I am shocked. Would not have expected that from her. Much love to you, sweetie, and good luck at the doctor's appointment today. Good luck, honey. I hope everything comes out with good news. I don't like going to the doctor and then them telling me, oh, this is wrong with you, that's wrong with you. I kind of like try to avoid it like the plague. I'm like laying on my deathbed before you can get me in there, because then they'll come up with something new that's, oh, well, this is wrong with you. Uh-oh, what's beeping at me? Let us know how it goes. I hope it's nothing serious. I really do. I hope and pray it's nothing serious. So I did get, his name is the Glarer, and I did get his permission to use this, which I was kind of surprised because he came back pretty quickly about it. So I will play, and then we can stop and pause and discuss if you like, or I can play it all the way through. It's up to you guys. Let me know. I didn't ask Brian Enton, who is the original creator, but I will message him in the background and see what he says. Make sure everything's okay. Arctic Wolf, welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, let's just jump right in. For those of you that are just coming in, I was, randomly just flipping through YouTube, and I came across what happened with the photos, and I'm beside myself. And I think that Blair did an amazing job on just putting it out there. Like, don't use babies as a way to make money, especially, I mean, it's different if you're like, pitch an idea, say I wanted to go, somewhere and go, do an investigative report and, help bring awareness to it. And so I'm trying to raise money to do that. And as a nonprofit, I can see that happening. But as far as taking a situation that's, said and done and bringing something as intimate, that would be like taking the Idaho 4 situation and taking their photos and putting them behind a paywall. Those parents would lose their mind. And those girls and boys were even of age. They were over 18. I couldn't imagine as a mother, my child. No, I couldn't. I'm upset. I'm upset if you couldn't tell. I'm extremely upset. Okay, let's jump right in. Are you guys able to see that? Well, I'm going to try playing it, and you guys can tell me if you make sure you can hear it. I know I was having audio issues yesterday. Summer Wells shirts. Now, so if it has her picture on it and it says that she's missing, then they should be selling them, but they should be selling them for. So this is how I look at those types of grabs is if you're selling it for awareness and the proceeds from that go to a specific cause. So if the proceeds from those shirts being sold are going to travel to go have interviews and things like that, yes. But just to fill up your bank account, I don't agree. Yeah, or the family. There is quite a few investigative reporters that work with YouTube or on YouTube, or that's what they claim to be. And if they're using the proceeds from the things that they've sold of that said incident case towards, you know what I mean? If they're using those proceeds to further their investigation and not just, sit at home and just collect a bankroll. I know there's a word for it, and I'm sure Steffers knows what that word is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I try not to get into it. I agree, Scapegoat said. Article says, yes, I can see it, but what are you talking about? You got some background for me? Did you catch all that? Did you catch all that, Arctic Wolf? So there was some photos of this baby missing and deaths. People make money off tragedies involving kids, Arctic Wolf, basically. Yes. So this baby, Gannon, who's here, his stepmom brutally unalived him. And his autopsy photos were ordered and then put behind a paywall of $3 person to see these photos. And unless you're in medical forensic school studies, Oh, look at that sweet face. Oh, you're gonna make me cry, scapegoat. Um, I gotta breathe. Inky's beyond upset right now. Oh, um, they were put behind a paywall for people to purchase, $3 visit or whatever to come check these out. I believe it was on Patreon or something. We'll find out more information from this video that I'm about to play. And if I would have got the permission of the parents. Is it okay if I do this? You know what I mean? Because he's a baby. He's a baby. He's just a little guy. Oh, I know. Okay. Can you guys let me know if you can hear this? I need to breathe for a minute. Oh, I'm livid. And Glare, thank you again, Glare, for letting me use your video. I stand with you 100% on this. Dale, are you able to hear it? The words I'd like to use probably wouldn't be okay, but I did a pretty I I played one of my old videos from sorry, I hopped in the shower. Oh, it's okay, Steffers. Steffers, what is it called? I know you would know the word I'm thinking of when people use the babies in these types of situations to sit behind a desk. Not the type that like how Bullhorn Betty collects money and then she goes to the location and does the news. I'm not sure what that word is called. I know she knows it. That's it. Tragedy pimps. And I never expected this from Zav. But let me finish playing. I'm going to play this video. It's okay, scapegoat. I can read that. I typo all the time. Me too, Steph. Look at the babies. Oh. I think you can probably read this message too. Yes, I can.
Yikes, Zav Girl. Yikes. Oh my goodness. Zav Girl, Zav Girl, Zav.
Now, for those of you that hang out in my chat or on my channel, know I am not big about talking about other creators, but this one, most definitely, this was a naughty, naughty, naughty thing to do.
Zav Girl.
Thank
Jeez.
you, Claire. Thank you, Brian
Dude.
Enton.
I would almost feel sorry for you if I would almost feel sorry for you if you actually had any empathy for victims, or or at least showed any indication that you did at any point. So since I'm petty as fuck, no, I don't feel sorry for you at all, not even a little bit. But how about Brian Enton today, man? Now, real quick, before I get into that, I want to give a big shout out to Duty Ron, man, because he showed me a lot of love in his chat, and he shared this little collage video that I put together for Gannon, and he did.
That was my same question, bad behavior. Why? Why was it necessary? Why? So this guy, his name is The Glarer, and I just happened to come across him. Not familiar with this channel, but I came across this because I saw that it said something about, Zav Girl, who I've watched in the past. And typically her channel is very, it's not real graphic. They do a lot of research. They dig through pictures and they zoom in, and like with the Kelly Rodney case, and you were able to spot things like, this is how the car was sitting, this is what was in the car, oh, it's odd, we found this beer can and this illicit substance, whatever. So a lot of times her channel has always been, dig, and actually see things that wouldn't be caught typically through a quick video, which I truly enjoyed. I would never, ever, ever have expected this. Maybe from a channel with less integrity, but not from that channel. I guess sometimes we have to remove that veil of lace to see through what people are really doing. And I have to agree with this gentleman's, how he's calling this out. He was the one who called out Upchurch over the Kylie Rodney case. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and watch some more of his videos. And I did get his permission. I did ask him if I could use this. So just for the record. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's watch it.
Did that twice, which was really good because I mentioned in the chat that that I feel that the best thing that we can do right now, the most productive thing that any of us can do currently, is share Gannon's image the way that his family wants to remember him, the way that all of his loved ones would want to remember him.
Happy,
that's
smiling.
The only way to help undo the damage that, I mean, it can't be undone, but we can damn sure try and try to get close to it. Stick a little chewing gum, as it were, to put things back together if we can. So I think the best thing to do, all of us, what we can do is absolutely continue to share Gannon's image as a happy kid, as a loving kid, and the way that Landon requested on the very day on her Facebook post, on the very day that they showed the autopsy photos in trial and the medical examiner went over them. This was her request then. So the best thing that we can do for Landon, for Al, and all of Gannon's other loved ones is share those images as much as we can. We are the internet. The internet does not have to be all ugly and all about this garbage that Zav Girl did, this mess that she made. We may not be able to pick up all the dirt, but we could sweep it up into a pile. You know what I mean? And I think the best way to do that is to continue to share it, Gannon's image, the way that his loved ones want to remember him. We can all do that. We can all take our YouTube accounts and make community posts and do so on our Twitters and I'm thinking that someone mentioned during Duty Ron's stream something. It's just an idea. It's not actually a thing, but
Amen, Dale.
there's always a silver lining to these things. And the attorney that Duty Ron had on, her name escapes me, I apologize, but the attorney that Duty Ron had on his panel with him, with Ed Wallace and himself, she suggested something to the effect of maybe Gannon's Law. And Gannon's Law would do something in theory to the effect of making sure that there's at least a limit to what can be done with the information once you obtain it and you request it. Because
welcome, Toe Jam. It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Because these things do become public record. It is a thing, but maybe we can regulate it to where if they're a minor, there are different stipulations, more strict laws as far as sharing these things on the internet, things of that nature. So Emily Biz, member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the blue hearts. And I appreciate all you guys leaving blue hearts in the chat too for Gannon. It gets me every time. It's incredibly touching. So thank you guys for that. Grandmaster Sid Sofo says, the decorum you exemplified on last night's live was awesome. Civility, correctness, etiquette, whilst preserving an impartial, orderly manner at a truly challenging time. Thanks, man. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you too.
And what's interesting about this comment, and I'm really glad you made this comment, Grandmaster Sid Sophos, not because it's a super chat necessarily, but mostly because those are the words that I would use to describe how this community has handled this. I still have not seen anyone threatening or saying anything nasty to Zav Girl, and no personal jabs or insults.
Now, I have a question. Now, it's the reason she probably didn't do it on YouTube because it would go against community guidelines. Well, those community guidelines are there for a purpose, and that purpose is to protect the community and, any littles that might come across it and see some kind of horrific picture, correct? Or anything of that nature. So why would you intentionally take it behind a paywall, knowing if it's not good enough for YouTube, why should it even be exposed? Huh? What? Yeah, exactly.
I've not seen any of this. This comment in Grandmaster,
you would think so, Dale, but she didn't post it on YouTube.
Doesn't just apply
but
to
for
me.
Morale
it applies
purposes,
to me at all. It
I would
applies
say
to you guys, all of you. I haven't seen anyone behave. I mean, you all, there was nothing hypocritical in the way that you guys have expressed your feelings towards this situation, and I can't express enough how proud
just
I am.
Because you can doesn't mean you always should.
This is the most proud I think I've ever been to be part of this community. Absolutely, 150%. You guys are amazing. Like, seriously, give yourselves a round of applause. Absolutely. Now,
He blew it.
although there's nothing funny about what uh what Zav Girl did, uh
Exactly.
again, kind of
Why?
petty like
That was
that.
my question.
And I
Why?
think
Why?
the
Why? Why?
backlash is not only well deserved what she's getting, because all that's happening is on a mass level, people are appropriately holding Zav Girl accountable for her actions. No one is attacking her as she claims. No one is attacking her. We as a community are merely holding her accountable for her actions.
The baby's not even my. I'm infuriated.
Now,
Infuriated. I want to cry for the parents and
I
family
do
members that
find
have to deal
it humorous that
this.
it got to the point. Now, it's not just humorous. Mostly, I am just very, very happy that Brian Enton and News Nation decided to step up, and this problem, this very common problem, has reached outside of our community. It's gotten the attention of people outside of our community and the media outside of our community.
Oh, this has
And
made
it's
it to the
needed
news.
that for a very long time. And I'm really hoping that Brian Enton and anybody else who decides to discuss this outside of the community understands that it's not just Zav Girl. It's a lot of creators doing a lot of horrible, irresponsible things with many different cases. And I can't even imagine how much.
Now, for those of you that are in here, I am sure that all of you are aware of things that should and should not be on YouTube just from the last 6 months of chaos. And that is the point that he's making.
How much justice this community, the darker side of this community, has caused. So I'm really, really I'm just mostly just grateful that that took place, but it's also fucking surreal in the most hilarious way. I can't deny that.
Is she on the island?
And it's funny because like seeing Brian Enton do it, like it was like fuck yes, you know. And when Duty Ron did it, it was also like fuck yes, because Duty Ron almost never addresses this kind of thing on his channel. He almost never addresses other creators in a negative fashion. And to someone who, as a job,
Toilets.
I'm sorry, let me correct that. To someone who, as a career, has had to look at autopsy photos of horrible, violent murders and look at bodies in person, have to sit there and study a crime scene and close it off. Like, if you just take a second,
I have to pause there just for a moment, because if you think of law enforcement, do you think law enforcement would do this? Like, hey, let me show this to my buddies. They deal with this stuff every day. Every day. They have nightmares over it. They have counseling from dealing with these types of things. And there is someone online posting these, and people are paying to see them. Where is that line drawn?
Second, and just imagine and try to compartmentalize what, and you'll still have no
Hi,
idea,
Joe. Welcome.
unless you've done this job. I have no idea, but just try to compartmentalize what Duty Ron
Exactly.
and anybody in his profession has to deal with on a daily basis.
Joe,
and what the process is.
I just came across this. I was skimming through and I had no idea that this happened, and I am beside myself. Oh,
when having to deal with a dead body. To me, you know, again, that is more than just a service. You know, like I'll be a garbage man in the smelliest, dirtiest city in the world before I'm a homicide detective in New York City in the 80s and 90s. That, you know, or the 90s and 2000s. I'm not exactly sure when his what his career exactly was, but I see Dawn Marie's in here. She's a mod for him. This is the worst thing to run a scene on YouTube. I think he said, yeah. It has to be. The actions dictate that that's the truth, because like I said, Duty Ron never addresses other creators on his channel, and News Nation doesn't address YouTubers on his channel. For this is such a heinous thing that she tried to downplay, you know, and minimize. And Brian Etten and News Nation, they were like, no, this needs to be called out, because we can't even remotely risk standing by and letting a trend of something like this begin and take place. And I thought that was amazing. So now, for you guys who are new to the channel, I like to add a little humor to things. Kind of helps keep things light, because honestly, and I feel good about this.
We haven't seen GS Vlog because he was asking to see my 10-year-old daughter, and so he has been banned from the channel.
Is over. Now it's the healing. Now it's the physical therapy towards being 100% again, right? Because now News Nation and I don't want to say a mainstream media source, but I mean close enough, you know, a respectable media source outside of YouTube has shined a light on this problem. And my man was naming names, which is just something that you never see, man. And I'm really grateful to you guys for joining me so late at night, because I know it's late, but I didn't want to wait till tomorrow to cover this. I was too excited. So let's go over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open up the phone lines, and then you guys can call in if you want. Hey, what's up, Science Girl? I haven't seen you in a minute. So here we go. So right here,
you see that, right? Like, YouTuber charged $3 to see gruesome autopsy photos of 11-year-old boy. Now, my question is, for what purpose? Is this for her personal bank account? Was this to help the parents with, you know, legal bills and, you know, the things that they may need? Was this for donation for them? What was the purpose of all of this? And was it fair to the families?
So right here, the title of this is
Toe Jam. She requested them from law enforcement, and then did this behind a paywall.
YouTuber charged $3.
And no, to answer your question, they're not for public use.
For people to see gruesome autopsy photos of an 11-year-old. Like, not even, yeah. I mean, that's the headline. And I like that they kept her name out of the headline. Uh-oh, Cherry's yelling at me. Hold on, guys.
If you'd like, I can, Joe, I could go when we're done with this. We could go and check out her post.
Okay. I was wondering what that. Okay. So, I'm going to read a statement that was just recently posted by Al, Gannon's father. And it says here, there are those that have found a way to further the evils committed against Gannon. Wow. That's extremely powerful. Accurate, yet extremely powerful. But goodness and love will prevail. For every hint of evil concocted, a preponderance of kindness outshines the darkness of those that would deepen our pain. There you have it.
I pulled it up.
His parents have risen above this.
We'll go through and read it after he's done.
And I think that's beautiful. And what I was going to say was the idea behind Gannon's law, as I was explaining earlier, I would like to see that happen. And I want to publicly say I don't plan on reaching out to either Al or Landon about this. But if they just so happen to see this, I want
bad behavior. I completely agree, especially when it comes to a minor child. Most definitely.
To assure them, and if I could speak to them directly in case they see this, I can assure you that you have mine and my entire community support if you decide to pursue your local lawmakers or federal ones. I mean, I think this, as far as this being the internet goes, I think it needs to be a federal law. And I'd like to see that happen. And I just want you to know that if you decide to push for this and you decide to advocate for this and pressure your lawmakers to create and pass a law that protects you and other parents from things like this, you absolutely 150% have my support and my community support. So I just wanted to put that out there to you both, Landon and Al. I mean, yeah, like I'll share petition links, whatever it takes, anything it takes. I will dedicate my free time to this if need be. So I just want you to know that. And believe it or not, I have a lot of free time. So
and they actually released the photos to her. She had to pay. They released the photos and she got them. And you can just imagine, based on the description of the way that little boy was killed, what those photos looked like. Zav Girl then proceeded to post them on her Patreon account, which is an account attached to her YouTube page. And she charged her followers money to see the autopsy photos. For $3, you could see little Gannon's body. She was making money off of that little boy's autopsy photos of a severely beaten to death little boy. Really, they just got no place on the internet. It was hard.
Now he's spitting facts right now. And something just dawned on me. Something just occurred to me. Like, easily the most vile person that I've ever had to deal with on the internet never stooped this low. And I'm talking, this person stooped low as fuck. And that person is the Critical K, who we like to call canceled Karen because she's been booted off of YouTube not once, but twice, and is being sued for $10 million and just lost the lawsuit by default because she thought she could just say, "Stop harassing me," to the court, and it'll just go away. Even she never did anything this low. That's incredible. Like I had to express that thought out loud to you guys because it's mind-blowing. Like if you know the critical K and you
Gemini, since you're just stepping in, this is, I asked Blair if I could use his video that explains what should and should not be on YouTube or a platform or something that was in a protected file that someone had to purchase. And especially because this is over a minor. And I'm sure you've heard of her, Zav Girl.
you know the things that she's done. Nothing that she's done even compares to this. Maybe everything put together, or maybe about half of what she's done put together. Yeah, okay. But nothing. Yeah, she's never done anything this low.
Hard enough for the jury to have to look at them. But for this YouTuber to go to all that trouble to request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people to see them. I mean, I just find it sick. My question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my issue with.
Now, he's making excellent points here. Points that I've already made more than once in the last couple of days. Points that Duty Ron has already made. Points that anybody else that has talked about this has already made. Which should tell you something. Because I don't think that Brian Enton is trolling YouTube and just checking out a bunch of true crime YouTube creators. I don't think he's doing that. I think people let him know. I think people talk to him and contact him and go, "Can you fucking believe this?" And I don't know, but it's
just like it states, hiding behind a computer, having no regard for the grieving family. None. I want to know that money that was made by this is going to go to that family with a huge apology. And maybe she should even do this apology. Maybe she can have an interview with Brian Enton and she can apologize publicly to everyone.
Sure as hell seems like this is a rare thing for Brian Enton. For him to get heated, pissed off, and then just start blasting tweets about how angry he is, and then immediately, on such short notice, schedule a feature interview with the prosecutor of the Letitia Stout trial, the person responsible for proving the case against Letitia Stout in front of a jury that led to her conviction. That dude, just for that, is a hero of mine.
With some of these YouTubers, even them. I mean, I just find it sick. My question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my.
Yeah, no, she's never done that. She's never done that because she's an opportunistic dickhead. I mean, am I being unfair here? This is a person who has never done anything even remotely respectable, because the closest thing that she's ever done is have Jared Lysick on her panel and kissed his ass to no end over the Kylie Rodney thing.
And we all know who that person is, right? Hi, get to know. You're welcome to come up. And we all know what that guy did and where his moral value stands. Jared's. Yeah.
Now,
And get to know, if you don't know who Jared is, I'll share the link in the chat.
that doesn't make her special, because Jared Lysick the entire time was an absolute 100% panel whore. He was jumping on every single panel. Even some panels he was forcing himself on while he was on his anniversary vacation with his wife. Because priorities, folks. So that's the biggest claim to fame that Zav Girl has ever had.
I'm
Zav
good,
Girl isn't
hun.
interested in
Upset,
victims.
but I'm good.
She isn't interested in expertise.
And YouTube is cutting down on the riffraff. They are cutting down. They've been working at trying to change what is available to even be put on YouTube, because the whole dynamic of the platform is evolving into chaos.
Because A, she thinks she knows it all. And B, well, that's just too much work. It's too much work to try to seek out a medical examiner in any fucking state. Just seek one out and see, you know, and take some of that YouTube money and offer the guy, hey, I'll give you this much money if you'll, you know, join me on a live stream and we look over some autopsy photos. But again, as I made the point earlier today when I was live, I said that there's still no excuse. Even with that, that would not be an excuse to share Gannon's remains. Find an adult. I'm sure there's an adult who could have signed off on whether or not their autopsy photos can be shared for educational purposes. I'm sure there is. And if you want to reference it somehow to Gannon, I understand that too. I still think it's gruesome and fucking pointless since the trial's already over and justice has been served. So I don't see what the point was to even do that in the first place. But nevertheless,
Yes, adventures with purpose.
I mean,
That's my
Thank you for
issue with
making me
some
laugh.
of these YouTubers that cause problems. They hide behind their computers. They don't even use their real names. Like in this case, we don't even know who Zav Girl really is. And if you're so proud of your page, I don't know why people don't just use their real name. And this isn't some
well, I mean, my real name's no secret, but I do understand anonymity to some degree, because when you speak up, Brian, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, but just in case that you are, I can explain that. Some of us actually take these types of creators on head on. We call them out on their shit. And a lot of these creators who do these things have a lot of support. And the kind of support that they get are clearly going to be irrational people, because no rational person would ever support any type of behavior that even resembles behavior like this. So it makes sense for some of us to stay completely anonymous and not even on camera, as a matter of fact. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But, you know, I get what you're saying. You know, I mean, we're not professional journalists. We don't have the kind of notoriety you do, and you know, so we just got to work with what we got sometimes. But I get what you're saying. There's a lack of respect to be had with people who remain anonymous to some people. I understand that. But there's a good reason why some of us stay anonymous.
some video game or TV show you're playing on your computer. You know, this is a real family's life. This morning, Zav Girl, she got a lot of heat for this. She posted a statement on her YouTube page about the controversy. It was deleted. It's It's back up now. I screen grabbed it. This is part of it. She wrote, the reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this.
I love that he pointed out that it was deleted at one point and then put back up. I don't know if she could delete it and then put it back up because all of the original comments are still there. Unless she took it down earlier today. But
she probably edited it.
But I don't know.
Some people are genuinely think making a video, including the autopsy photos, is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people like myself think of autopsy photos and the coroner discussing, explaining, interesting, and informative, are all able to view it in a more scientific, detached way.
I can guarantee I've been in her chats. All you see is, oh my gosh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. How many of us have ever been in one of her chats and listened to the live and heard those exact words? Oh my gosh, ooh, ah. They're not doctors. They're not officers. You wouldn't walk onto a crime scene and hear something like that. And that's what's going on behind that paywall.
Well, Zav Girl, there is nothing detached about posting the autopsy photos of an 11-year-old little boy, and then on top of it, which I really think pushes it over the line, charging money for people to see them. It is sick, it's deranged, and you should just own up to it. Whoever you are, wherever you live, maybe get out from behind your computer screen, go to the local courthouse, and actually sit through a murder trial and see what it's like for the families in real life. Behind your computer and thinking about clicks, but actually go to the courthouse and see what these families actually have to deal with, and then think about how it might feel for them after having to see those photos in the courtroom to then have them plastered all over the internet and then be trying to charge people money to view them so you can get rich off of it. It's just awful. I want to bring in District Attorney Michael Allen, who served as the lead prosecutor on Little Gannon's case. Thank you for being with us, Michael. You were the lead prosecutor. You had to go through that whole trial. I can't even imagine.
Love this guy.
Like, this just got me so mad thinking about Gannon's family. I know they're aware of this. I mean, how are they processing all of this?
And so now here we're going to get a professional's opinion on everything I just said previous to this. And all of you in chat who all agree this was absurd.
Well, thanks for having me on to talk about this. First off, we reached out to the family members and had discussions with them about this, just letting them know that, one, it's happening and sort of what they can do potentially to combat this. But honestly, there's nothing they can do to get these photos down once they're on the internet. It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. And there's nothing about what this YouTuber is doing. And I think there's another one out there as well.
Now, real quick, I got to point out, it's interesting to hear not just a lawyer, okay? Not just a lawyer.
And what they're meaning is, yeah, you can start a law case on this and say, okay, hey, I want these pictures removed, but there's always going to be someone out there that has clipped that Patreon and now they have a copy of it. They could have screen recorded it. They have a copy of it. So even if they get her to remove it, it's still going to be out there somewhere. Because if you've ever been in her chats, she'll send them to somebody, and then they'll go through them piece by piece, little inch by inch of each of those pictures or videos. Anyone who's ever been over there knows this is how she does this process.
Lawyer in the Gannon Stauch case, the lawyer that matters. Make no mistake, people. Let's relish this for a moment. Not just any lawyer.
Jam.
This is the lead prosecutor in Letitia Stout's trial. This is the man whose hard.
I think when it comes to children, that it should not, you shouldn't even be able to get a hold of those types of documents. It should be sealed. Period.
Work along with law enforcement's. I'm not trying to take away from that, but this is the man who put together a case, the case that put that woman away forever. It was this man's back breaking to get that woman under the jail. So, and for him to say almost verbatim, people, what everyone in this community has been saying for the last couple of days. Think about that for a second. Think about that. That's how bad what she did is. When the lead prosecutor goes on News Nation, the lead prosecutor in the Letitia Stout trial, in the process to getting Gannon justice, to getting Landon and Al and Lena justice, and Harley too, justice, and everyone else that loved Gannon. When that person whose hard work made that possible comes up here, goes on, sorry, not here, but on News Nation with Brian Enton, and says almost verbatim what this entire community, except for Bullhorn Betty and Laura Barnacle, except for those two, aside from those two, the entire community said almost verbatim what this man is saying right now. Think about how powerful that is. That's how wrong what Zav Girl did was. Because we all of the goodness collected in all of us, collectively, all of the goodness is speaking out loud about this issue. That's extremely powerful.
That they're doing that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon. And the statement that they put out about this incident, sort of justifying it, it just rings hollow. Other ways to do this.
All right, let me explain something to you people. Okay, I want to be very clear about something because I just had to remove a comment in my chat. What will not be tolerated here is any doxing whatsoever. I don't give a shit what Zav Girl's real name is. I don't want to know. I'm not interested in it.
And that is a whole nother ball game. There is things that should and should not be put on social media. It can endanger lives. Period.
And it's not welcome in my chat. Nobody posted it that I saw, but I don't give a shit that she has a criminal record. Okay? Now, there's a difference. You might be saying, well, what about talking about Betty's criminal record? Well, Betty isn't anonymous. Betty goes around going, this is Andrew Griffin, a.k.a. Bullhorn Betty. Very easy to look up her record. Very easy. That was bound to come out because of all the shit that she does. Okay? No, I get it, Cherry. I'm just saying, I'm just warning my chat ahead of time. Okay? That is not going to be tolerated here. All you newbies who don't know how this channel.
And I agree 1,000%. If someone goes on YouTube and say, this is me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, have at it. If they're doing something wrong. If they're not doing something wrong and they're not being malicious and they don't have malicious intent, especially if they do things in the background for the better good of society and this platform. Why attack?
works. We don't do that here. It's very, 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 very clear. Very important that you hear me clearly about that. So I'm not interested. I don't want any. Don't email me with personal information about Zav Girl. I don't give a shit. I don't care to know who this person is. I don't give a shit about her past. I'm going to get to how I ultimately feel by the end of this stream.
Scientifically, they could have used body diagrams that the autopsy also included, instead of putting the actual pictures of Gannon's just completely broken body that reflects the depravity and horror that he had to live through and die at the hands of his stepmother, that he had to suffer. It's outright disgusting. And it just speaks to the lowest of human forms, in my opinion.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Brian Etten, y'all. Brian Etten.
So what do you all think about that? Is that just not... I truly hope that the movement towards bettering our community is putting one foot in front of the other very quickly. Because if these pictures would have made it into a members area on YouTube, I mean, as a parent, and those of you that are in chat as parents, I mean, would you want this for your kids? Would you want, you know, your place of residence out there? Maybe you did something when you were a teenager in high school that exploited out there. It's not the place. Unless you're just doing something that's just downright wrong. And even at that, then that should be taken to law enforcement. And saying, hey, this person is doing this, this, and this. I've said it a million times.
I mean...
Thank you, Escapegoat.
And I got to tell y'all, man, just thinking about Betty right now.
Shall we get to what his end thoughts are?
Patreon is still up and it's free.
For those of you who think I am such a horrible person, check out for yourself before you lambast me for being a terrible human. I'm going live on Patreon to do part 2 of the Gannon Stout crime scene picks and autopsy. Anyone at the $3 level or above will be able to view the live. If you are...
Wow. Did she really say that? Is that in this post? Holy macaroni. Okay. So let's see what she had to say. In her post. Are you able to read that? Let me know if you're able to read that. Is this the post you're talking about, Joe? Or is there one from before this? I think this is it. Zav Girl, 1 day ago. Hey guys, I wanted to address what's going on right now with the Gannon Autopsy coroner video I created. Unfortunately, it seems to be something where people are very divided on how they feel about it, and I'm hearing a lot of from both sides. The reality of the situation is different. People is that different people feel differently about this. Some people genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people, like myself, think autopsy photos and the coroner discussing and explaining them is interesting and informative, and we are able to view it all in more scientific, detached way. It's just one of those things that it depends on the person. Thank you, Joe. I am not adamantly against taking down the video if people are truly unhappy with it and would absolutely consider doing that. So she sees nothing wrong with this. She just thinks it's a difference of opinion. But right now, it seems that there's a lot of people out there that are acting in bad faith and creating lies for fun and excitement in order to pit others against me. No, some of us just have some moral value, and we think about the parents that these pictures of these parents' child that they belong to. Because I've never had a problem with her before. This is just an extreme. I'm just disheartened. I think she would feel differently if it was her child. Exactly. So do I. If you heard the latest rumor that I've been distributing photos of Gannon's genitalia, I assure you I have not. And his genitalia isn't visible in any of the autopsy photos, in any autopsy coroner video. So it's a bit difficult to sort through what's what. I don't think, did anybody hear anything about any genitalia in the video that we just watched from the Glare? I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear that as a complaint, and I didn't hear that as a complaint by the lawyer. Did anybody else? Because I didn't. It was just a moral purpose grounds. They don't want to relive what they walked into. Because you know they had to have a viewing. Let's see here. So it's a bit difficult for me. Okay, what's what? When there are creators who have the same autopsy photos up right here on YouTube for public viewing on their channel, where anyone can stumble across them, they are not being attacked as I am right now. Who else has these? I guess that should be question one. Who else has these photos, and why are they on YouTube? It becomes obvious that some of this hate I am receiving is not genuine and is being done for other reasons. YouTube drama gets clicks. I understand some of you have issues with me charging money on my Patreon for the video. If I was charging money for the autopsy file alone or something, that I think I'd see your point. But in this case, I spent a lot of time and I worked hard putting together the video, lining up the coroner's audio and descriptions along with the appropriate parts of the photo she is describing, and editing it together to try to make it as informative as possible for the viewer. Yeah, neither have I. Bad behavior. And she didn't use any names, so it's not like we can go say, hey, this shouldn't be on here. It's just not appropriate. It's not appropriate. She's not, her channel isn't like a class on how to depict. She's a true crime channel. She's not a learning channel like a, say, autopsy class channel. Who used Zav's photos? can't. Who used Zav's photos? The other woman did too. I can't remember her name offhand. Oh, is that the other girl in the video? There was another one. When I came across this one, there was like 3 women on panel, and she's like a redhead. Is that who you're talking about? And the 2 ladies? Is that whom you're talking about? Scapegoat? Ah, yeah. Okay, I got you. Okay. Okay, I understand some of you have issues with me charging money on Patreon for the video. If I was charged, okay, I already read that. But in this case, I spent a lot. I read that. Together, lining up the video, the coroner's report, description along with appropriate part of the photos, describing and editing it together to make it informative as possible for the viewer. That is what I'm charging for, which I would hope that you can agree is understandable. Anyway, I thank you to those who have reached out to me with your take on and in a respectful way, and who understand simply, but it's a bit of a gray area. There's no gray area to this. And what is socially acceptable and what isn't. There's no gray area. She should have been able to feel that in her heart. And I think that she is just too proud to say, yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Like I said, I'm not against removing the video, and I care about what you think, but it's hard to make sense of while I'm getting some very serious, unhinged threats being made against myself and my loved ones. And those threats are coming from those who claim I'm doing something morally objectable. For those of you who are willing to discuss this rationally, I want to communicate your thoughts. Please comment and post, as you might not see it anywhere else. After I deal with these threats, I will come back and read everything here so I can get an idea on the best way to proceed based on all of your input. Thank you, guys. Zav. Natasha Cooper. And she put it actually on YouTube. I just looked in my history and I found the vid of her trying to justify what her and Zav did. And she put it behind a paywall. Exactly. Exactly. I think it was mentioned in Queen Bee's live recently. That's how I found her. Yeah, I'm interested in what Queen Bee had to say about that, because she's probably not going to be happy with that either. Oh, so did they both put it behind a paywall? Craziness. But that was I will touch base back on this and see what happens with it, because I think that the movement that's going on with YouTube right now and what should and should not be allowed, there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be taking place, within the platform. And I'm hoping that people take heed on understanding what should and should not be, if for say Scapegoat wanted to see those, then, let Scapegoat go and request those records. Because once those records are out, there's no way for law enforcement to track them. People can doctor them, do this and that, and then really, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can manipulate the situation. And it's already that this woman did such a heinous crime. But then to go back and, you know, how people doctor things up and just make things completely out of proportion or whatever. And just these parents won't be able to, you know, heal and just get that peace within them if it keeps getting brought up or popped up, or, you know, they're flipping through YouTube themselves and come across it. And Zav paid $414 for the photos. Well, and see, and then that's her thing. I mean, if she wanted to spend that money for it, it should have been kept there. And then maybe not shown the photos, but explained, this is what I see in the photo. That, I think, would never have made it to News Nation. It would have never been put out there that way if she would have said, this is how I perceive the photo, or just maybe the audio and not the visual part of it, would have been, I think, even more accepting as her, as, you know, as she would call herself, you know, an investigative journalist. Yeah, they should never have been for sale. I agree. But since they were a scapegoat, that's what I was getting at. I don't think that the pictures themselves should have been on display. Like if it was me and I was doing a report, I would have said, you know, here's some of the audio. This is very graphic. I'm going to leave this part out, you know, in being sensitive to, you know, all of those involved. But this is what, you know, this is what I am releasing. They call me weird, but I mean, that's just how I look at it. That's why you need to spend money to earn money. Well, I don't know, hon. I don't think that was a, she could have approached it differently, I think. And hopefully she'll understand that. That's the only way that this community is ever going to grow and learn. And it's not just her. There's many creators out there that, you know, push that boundary. And, you know, YouTube is cutting down on it. But I will keep an eye on this, and I will come back and revisit this later on. We'll see what happens throughout the day and tomorrow, and we'll do an update to see, you know, what's going on and how they're handling it. Right? Someone with actual credentials. I think that she should be against the law, in my opinion. What she did was against the law. You know, you would have to see what that state's law is. It should be a national, you know, U.S. law on revealing those types of photos. You know, if they were for public use, they would have been out there a long time ago. And I'm pretty sure that whatever documents she had to sign says this is not for public use. I don't know any case file I've ever looked at that said this is not. You know what I mean? Exactly. Especially of children. Exactly. Well, folks, I'm going to jump off here. I will keep an eye on it. We can touch base on it later. I appreciate every one of you for being here, and we'll see what happens. You know, we will see what can be done about it. Just because the victim is a minor and no other reason that should be classified. Yeah, exactly. Amen. 1,000%. Thank you, Scapegoat. Love you muches. Mwah. Get to know. It's always wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Joe, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for being here. Feel free to email me. I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you guys have any other information or knowledge, of something I might have missed, please let me know and we will touch base on it. There's my email in the chat. Email me. Let me know. And then we'll go back and review this. Mwah. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the summer heat. And it gives off great vitamin D. The sun is one of the best antidepressants out there. And when we're in, cooped up in the house, or thank you, Toe Jam. Much love to you. When we're cooped up in the house, we spend too much time. And this was my topic yesterday is, why let the negativity get to us? Combat it. Combat it. Go spend 15 minutes out in the sunlight. Get that natural vitamin D. I've uploaded some new ones. Thank you. F the heat. I know it's pretty hot up there where you're at, sweetie. I don't know about all that. Mwah. And I'll see you guys this evening. God bless.